Okay, we're going to take a more in-depth look with Final Cut Pro 10 and put a little disclaimer in there. I'm not a professional video editor coming up from iMovie, so probably used it good solid about 8 hours, and well, most of it I learned myself. You know, on YouTube they already threw out some tutorials which I did look through. Actually, it was mostly yesterday. I went through a lot of tutorials and learned a lot more. Okay, we're going to go through some of this now. And I already have kind of some video already set up. And actually, it's on my YouTube channel too as a test and using Final Cut Pro and for other reasons. We're going to go ahead and put this on the timeline. And this is kind of like kind of finished, but we're going to do some more editing. And what's very unique, and let me take audio scrubbing out there, that's going to be very annoying, is you can scan through all your clips when you import it up on the top left hand side right here. And either by using the skimmer, or you can just, as often as it's uploaded, playing the space bar, or you can use J, K, L keys to do that too. We're actually going to edit, take a portion of this clip and actually put it on the timeline, which is real easy. Usually there's almost always like like 3 or 4 different ways you can actually do a lot of this stuff. You can just click on it with the yellow selection box, and you can slide it to what selection you want, or you put the skimmer where you want it. In fact, we're going to go right about here, and we're going to select I. There's the input right there, and I'm going to select my output, and I'm going to put it right about right here. I'm going to select O for output, and you can either drag it down here or select, I think it's called append. There's a lot easier way. You just push E, and it puts it right down there at the timeline. This way of editing is fantastic. I really liked it. Now, some of this did come from the older Final Cut Pro 7 and earlier versions, so I'm not sure exactly which features are new, so keep that in mind. So now we got our clip imported very easily, and we can actually select the delete key if we don't like it, or find out that's not what we want. So it's kind of neat that you can actually you know, edit it before you even put it on the timeline, you know, because you think you put it on the timeline and then edit it, but it's kind of nice feature. I'm going to go over some of the, I think they're kind of newer things, and which like effects and things like that. I'm going to go over that, and which is this first box right here. Now these are all your video effects. What's nice about this is you can actually try out the effect first before you apply it, which is nice. You can preview it before you even mess with putting it in the video. To do that, you just click on the video timeline. You want to do the effect, and then you just come up here, wait just for a second on whatever effect, and you can actually scroll through it. You can even hit the space bar to play it. You won't hear any audio because it's just dealing with video portion, and we can even do another effect. And now it's interesting to note all these effects are, or most of the effects are actually made in motion. And I got motion down here, so you can even make new effects and import them into Final Cut Pro. Or you can take an existing effect, right click, and copy it in motion make changes and re-import it. So, you know, that's very amazing just to do that. Okay, those are your video effects, and you can do the same thing with the audio effects. And we're going to go to all. Now, I believe that most or all the effects actually come from Logic Pro, their digital audio workstation software, and which is nice. You get a lot of good plugins. Some of them are a little, you know, kind of silly, but some I could see could be used if you're going to make like a more of a theatrical movie. You can add sound effects and effects. The sound effects I'll show you here in a minute. So what you can preview these effects without applying them, just like you can with the video effects. You just click on the audio you want to apply the effect to, and actually let's go to voice, and we can actually apply some pretty weird effects, and for some reason it's not working. Probably did it wrong. And let's try helium again.
YouTube videos, often it's uploaded from my live
Now I sound like Fred on YouTube, so you guys want to emulate him?
shows where
Just like so.
While I do YouTube videos, often it's...
And if you want to sound like a transformer, they got that too. Now, some of them are like, you know, kind of weirdish. They actually got some pretty nice ones. De-esser. If you hear a lot of S's and you know, you don't, your audio is the type of mic you use ain't greatest, you can actually go to the de-esser and apply that effect. They also, let me see. We got EQ, very useful. I think they got some limiters. I forgot where those are in there. Exciter kind of gives you a better modulation. I thought there was compressor. Yeah, compressor. That was what I was trying to think about. And so those are for effects for the audio. Now you do have special effects just with that come with Final Cut Pro, and of course you got to click on the music symbol. Oops, and I think by default it goes to your iTunes library, and let's say you want to add like a gunshot effect. You're doing like a movie action scene, and oh geez, oh there it is, and you can actually preview it here. Whoa, that's a good one. And you can apply that one, and let's say we'll put it right here, so somebody's going to be shooting at me when I'm doing the reviews. And I broadcast Wednesdays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. Central Time, and so that's pretty neat. And we're going to go ahead and hopefully that's going to delete. Okay, I haven't figured out everything, deleting some of the effects, because well, not the effects, the special effects, but the effects for the audio, you can drag into the audio right here, and haven't quite figured out how to delete it. The delete key doesn't always seem to work. And of course your regular transitions, they also seem to have some of the same transitions and stuff from iMovie, some which I like, some not as much. Lower thirds for broadcasters such as myself, and I've got applied right here, and which is nice. It does it kind of auto. Right below, and actually animated lower thirds, and you also got bumpers like the beginning and the end, which you see right here. Oops. And let me get rid of the scrubber again. Actually, you can also go in here and select disabled if you're kind of have a couple of soundtracks and you kind of want to test one out, you can disable one of them. Like, you know, or you just want to check out the bumper at the beginning, you can disable audio for that track. And, well, there's the bumper anyway. I figure I'll show you disable. You can re-enable it. Same thing with the video. You can disable. And if you got several video clips on top or something, which is nice. And, okay, credits, kind of like the outro. And actually, one of them I use for my show, but it's actually done in Adobe Premiere Elements, but several backgrounds, and some may or may not be useful. I actually do like the text version seem to be really nice. They come up with some very unique ones. I happen to like this one right here. Okay, let me go into a little bit how you can some of the automatic color adjustments and audio adjustments. Now, some of it, when you import the audio, it may ask you, or in the settings, if you want to automatically adjust for color, or you can do it manually too. I'll show you that. And I'm going to select this here and go to Inspector. And if you look right here, and it kind of says Balance Analyze. I'm pretty sure that's where the imported video I selected to be analyzed before it comes in there. And you'll notice when I declick it, the video changes a little bit. And with it right here, it does look a slight bit washed out. And here it's correctly balanced to color. Or if you want to do it yourself, you don't have to do that. You can do it manually. By default, it always leaves correction 1, which is all zeroed out anyway. You can also add your own. You can add more than one. And then you can just delete it to... And for that part, I don't know why it doesn't work. And we'll go to undo. That part I hadn't figured out exactly. So you can go into color corrections here and do it manually. And you got color, saturation, and exposure. Now, color can be a little tricky if you've never done it before, because not only can you move it up and down, you can do side by side or any way in between. So I'm not sure how to set it back to 0 again. So for the time being, I don't mess with it. Now here it's a little bit easier because it just moves up and down. And you got highlights, midtone, shadows, and global is this one on the left that kind of just raises that middle bar, I believe. Or overall saturation. Obviously, you want to get a black and white look, I guess you go down here, and then oversaturation. So if you want a little bit more bolder colors, you can move it up slightly, maybe, overall, or do it individually. And like I said, it's easier to adjust because it all shows zeros here. Same thing with exposure, highlights, midtone, shadows, these three right here, and that right there. And there's something that's called show video scopes that kind of tells you an easier way to tell if your colors are more balanced. Here, I'm not an expert, but it looks, I've seen other ones where one color may jump way out more than another, then it's not quite balanced out. But here, they're pretty evenly matched, and you can actually do several different scopes. I'm still learning about color balancing, but it's not too bad once you know how to do it. But I'm still learning. And we're going to hide that. And that's a little bit about color adjustment. You can do it automatically or manually, or even both. Same thing with the audio. And here, audio analysis. And originally, this background noise removal, I had it set like this, and it was showing a yellow explanation point. And so I came in here and I just clicked it right here and then noise reduce. Now, by default, it usually sets it at 50%. I believe anything more than 50%, it just over-modulates it too much and makes it sound muffled and tinny. So usually 50% or less. I think it needs something Apple needs to work on. And so I usually set it at about 25. Hum removal and loudness as well. And you can select that as you're importing it as well. It can automatically do that. And you can do a few other things. Your background rendering, which actually is showing 75. I don't know why it's background rendering, but which is right here. When you import the clips, it actually imports it immediately. You can actually start editing right away, and in the background it'd be rendering. And I don't know why in particular this is rendering, so I'm just going to stop it, because I'm going to delete it after this video anyway. And so while you're actually editing the video, it's rendering as it's still importing, which is really interesting. And that's how you do it right here. And here's your editing tools right here. I'll discuss a few more things before we close out the video. Of course, your select and the magnetic timeline is automatically engaged when you're using it. And actually, for some reason, this transition is showing all the way there. Magnetic timeline show a little bit of like that. When you move it, it kind of moves it back, which is at times aggravating because you actually might want to put something in between. Or so you go here, you go to position, and that kind of disengages the magnetic timeline. So if you want to move it over and put another video right here or whatever and turn it back, you just go to select and re-engage the magnetic timeline. Of course, you got this ending video gap, so you might want to close that out too. Blade, I believe, is basically cut. Hand is just to move it back and forth. Trim, shoot, I forgot on this one. Obviously, you can trim the ends, I think, but you can do that with position as well. I'm starting to get used to the keyboard shortcuts, so and just like the Final Cut Pro 7, I believe you can use the J, K, L keys. Pressing L just plays, and I broadcast. K stops and J reverses. That's good if you have subliminal messages or satanic things you want to check for, I guess. And if you press the L key or J key 2 or 3 times in a row, it'll actually go twice the speed, 3 times, and 4 times. So we'll do it a couple. And broadcast Wednesdays, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Same time. And same in reverse. And you can also go in slow with just these 3 keys. You just press the K for stop, and while pressing either the L or J, it will just go slow in the forward or reverse direction. Other broadcasters. And I think I had a little bit too much to drink, I guess. And in reverse, of course. Okay, that's just a basic overall view of everything, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And hopefully I kept this short enough. And see you guys later. Watch Chatterbox Live.